Hello indie game fans, things are beginning to wind down for the year, but there are still one or two high potential titles, so the new releases of the week begins with Hazelnut Hex, a horizontal shoot 'em up title with a pastel colour scheme in which all the breakfast foods have disappeared from the world, and it is up to our heroine to figure out why, looking to be deceptively intense despite the cutesy look. I'm not sure how much of a game there is here in the Exit 8, but as you might be able to tell, I believe this runs on Unreal Engine 5, which explains the eerie photorealism of the game, in which you're trapped in a Japanese subway station and have to get to Exit 8. However, the corridors are linked together in an endless loop, and the distinct lack of music in the trailer does already creep me out.
In a world untouched, you awaken.
If you enjoy first-person survival games, perhaps Reign of Dwarf will be of interest, being set in a medieval fantasy world in which, of course, you play as a dwarf. As the engineering-inclined dwarves, you have the ability to construct huge fortresses, which will be critical as you build up your empire, eventually expanding and conquering, and looks like it has potential. I don't know if this will be on the level of a Valheim, but it seems alright for an early access survival game, so let's see if it gets any traction.
In unity, strength grows. Brave the depths for coveted treasures. From humble beginnings to legendary warrior. Conquer titans for precious booty. But the greatest challenge is each other. In the Reign of Dwarf, only the strong prevail. Are you ready?
Hey, if you made it this far, subscribe to my weekly newsletter to keep on top of all things indie games, link in the description below.
Dear Pixel, I know you will grow up someday, and I'm gonna have to let you go. You'll wander into that big city, wide-eyed and hopeful. They might overlook you at first. But they don't know the magic you carry.
A pleasant looking game that's a little bit on the nose is Pixel Cafe. Since it is a pixel art game in which you run a cafe, so no points for creativity here, but there's something to this game. In addition to the time management cafe aspect, there's a visual novel element as well, as her protagonist lives her life with a special relationship with her grandmother and wants to tell an emotional tale.
The comfort of your coffee, the love you pour in, that's your strength. It won't be easy, There will be times when you question yourself, when your dreams seem unreachable. Remember, in each of those moments, you're discovering who you are. And amidst all of this, don't forget our times together. We cooked, laughed, shared stories over coffee. It's all a part of who you are. And even if your dreams seem faint, don't stop dreaming, darling.
I've had my eye on this title for a little while, and its early access release is finally here, since Rogue Masters is a co-op horde mode survival title but with Souls-like combat. So imagine Dark Souls, but instead of invasions, you're working together with your friends to take on hordes of enemies. I'm not crazy for the visual style, but it looks okay, with the online co-op supporting up to 6 players, which is an interesting number, so I wonder how it will be balanced.
At last, Kirklees Keep, sinister lair of the Prioress.
Wow. I hope we can find some of these workers alive. Your brother included, Tuck.
I could use a day without any lethal traps around me.
I feel ya. I almost died twice today.
Bigger games begin with Gangs of Sherwood, a third-person action-adventure title based on the legend of Robin Hood, but with a futuristic dystopian version of Nottingham instead, and interestingly seems to be in the B game category since it isn't $70.
That scream?
I've heard people suffer all my life. This is something else. This prison was designed to hold hundreds of people.
And yet, most of the cages are empty. Where are all the prisoners?
I have a feeling we're fighting them. Our opponents here are different from the goons we fought in Loxley.
Aren't you allergic to pollen, brother? I remember the sneezing and the gallons of snot.
I almost said bless you.
And you would have lied. Big time.
Whoa. How about that?
Looks like someone mixed steel and body parts to an uncertain outcome.
Prioress, show yourself. Your hellish deeds cease tonight.
You lucky worms! You're about to witness the rebirth of my child, born from flesh and steel, drenched in so much blood. But we want more. We want yours. Make your mother proud, Red Roger of Nottingham!
Another interesting looking title is Last Train Home, one that has been described as Frostpunk meets Company of Heroes, with real-time tactics combat mixed in with a management aspect as your soldiers use an armoured train to attempt to get home safely, and looks well made.
The Great War is over. All we want is to return home. To the newborn Czechoslovakia we fought for. Brothers and sisters. None of us thought this part of the journey would be the most difficult. We still hope to see our home once again. Across the endless snowfields of Siberia. Through territory disputed by the Red and White armies. By armored train in a harsh winter. far from our loved ones. Outnumbered by enemies, we fight to make our way. Surrounded by wilderness, we manage in order to survive. This is our last chance. Our last train home. Will you lead us?
I literally just talked about SteamWorld Build in yesterday's video, so check that out if you want an explanation as to why it is in the bigger games section. But the latest entry in the SteamWorld franchise is an Impressions-style city builder game where you are leading robots to dig deeper underground in search of lost technology, where I played the demo and was impressed and should be a good one of these. I don't think I've touched a Turok game before, so this release doesn't have that nostalgia hit for me, but Turok 3 Oblivion Remastered is the latest game to get the night dive treatment, so if you want to shoot some dinos, get this, I guess. Smaller games begin with Die in the Dungeon Origins, the free demo to an interesting roguelite dice builder which has undergone a visual overhaul, where YouTubers like Retromation have really been enjoying their time with the game. Hand in Hand is an interesting split-screen puzzle platformer with two characters, but is controlled by only one player and looks nice. HoloParade is a side-scrolling tower defense game based on the insanely popular VTubers, where apparently developers have been given the go-ahead to monetize their fan games, and based on how popular the Vampire Survivor style HoloCure is, might be of interest as well. The reimagining of the Nokia classic SNEK looks awesome with some twists on the formula, and while it looks like a mobile game, doesn't appear to be on phones. Just a quick one here, since Resordom got delayed for like 2 weeks, so I have covered this a little while ago, but this Hexen-inspired boomer shooter looks great and is one to check out. One of the most interesting releases of the week is Noctuary, an anime action-adventure RPG that looks awesome, featuring a dual protagonist setup about a pair of ladies wanting to become Arbor Rangers who protect and serve. It mixes the action-adventure combat with more visual novel elements, but imagine my surprise when I was browsing through their trailers.
有冇人啊？我有嘢啊！咦，冇人嘅？出嚟放風嚕！呢本咩嚟㗎？日記？唔係啩？而家仲有人寫日記㗎？
Yes, if my ears are not deceiving me, that is Cantonese voiceover, which was very unexpected, coming to us from a Chinese developer based in Chengdu, so we'll see on the quality of English translation. If you're an indie developer and have no idea how to start with marketing your game, get on my mailing list via the link in the description below, where I'll send you some free templates and guides soon. This next title had a very successful Steam Mix Festival, in that Apocalypse Party is yet another Vampire Survivor style action roguelite, but yet it managed to climb the charts to become one of the most played demos of the event. Sure, it uses that generic asset pack, which I really do not like, but I suppose it nails the dopamine injection ability of games like this, so perhaps check it out. As mentioned in my newsletter 2 weeks ago, I was blindsided by the news of the early access release of Cross Blitz, since, this late in the year, I assumed it was going to be a 2024 release and even put it on my 2024 Indie Countdown over on the Shorts feed, so egg on my face I suppose, but this pixel art roguelike deck builder sure looks neat. However, rather than being a Slay the Spire clone, this seems to be taking inspiration from Magic the Gathering instead, with how the units are placed on the board and how the lanes work, with each character having their own unique campaigns, with this developer being known for their pixel art, so of course I'm in. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting possibly the last major Game of the Year contender for 2023 in the pixel art bullet hell Metroidvania Tevi. I've had my eye on this game for quite a while, since it comes to us from the developer of Rebi, a relatively underrated bullet hell Metroidvania from 2016, with drastically improved pixel art and perhaps less controversial character designs. It really is gorgeous, and the other game was a true Metroidvania that allowed for sequence breaks, so fingers crossed that this is great, but I really need to get down to playing through this since Game of the Year season is coming right up, with more upcoming pixel art games in this video.
Sugar.